What's up, everybody? Jason Moss here. Today, I'm going to show you how to hook up Google Search Console to your website. Now, every website is going to be slightly different based on what you need to do. So bear with me. I'm going to use one site as an example. But, if you follow along, your site will be very similar at the same time. Okay. Also, this is going to be kind of broke down into two different ways. The first half of the video is going to be the installation, just getting Google Search Console set up. The second half is going to be going through a number of different things and things to look for inside of Search Console. So you can, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the chapters in the description below. Okay, but let's hop into it. So Google Search Console is very important to have on website. Any kind of website you have, you should have this loaded. You need to do it from day one, just simply because they will be aggregating data for you for that entire time. You don't want to do it a couple years down the road and miss out on all that data, right? So very important to have. It's going to give you a lot of different insights that other tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, Majestic, they cannot give you, okay? So let's get into it. Now, once you're signed into your Google account, you can just go up to the search bar and search Google Search Console, click on the first item. When you do that, you're going to see a window kind of like this. Okay, it's going to have you enter in your website. Now you have a couple different options here. All right, this option here on the left, it tracks everything on your entire domain. So we're talking the www version, any kind of other subdomain versions that you might have. It's going to track the HTTPS version, the HTTP version, and then those versions inside of that, the www, and all those subdomains on all of it. This does everything. Now, it does require DNS verification, so you have to do that with your registrar or wherever your site is hosted, okay? So that would be like Namecheap, GoDaddy, or one of your hosts, WPX hosting, hopefully not HostGator or something crappy like that. But yeah. And then this option over here is the URL prefix. So if you only want to track like your main version, like HTTPS, www version, you can track that here, just like it shows you right here on the screen. Okay. Now, I do recommend this one simply because it tracks everything, and why not track everything? Okay. So on this side of things, I'm going to just kind of show you an example here. I'm just going to type in target.com. And when you do that on this side, you do not add the HTTPS. So if you copied it out of your browser or something like that, you'll notice the continue goes away. It doesn't let you do it. It's going to pop that up. Okay, so you just want target.com, okay, or yourwebsite.com, right? So you hit continue. It's going to do this little thing real quick, and then you're going to find a window like this. Now, this is where you grab your TXT record, or you can do it via a CNAME record, okay? TXT is super easy, so I will show you how to do that. So as you can see, I want you to do it with GoDaddy, Namecheap, or wherever your website is hosted, okay? Now, I'm going to do it for one of our test sites. Our test site is built on carrot.com, and the hosting is kind of set up differently. They use A records and CNAME records, I think it is. All right, so we are actually going to do it at the registrar, all right, which is namecheap.com. So you have the TXT record right here. All you do is copy this, okay, and you go over to your registrar. In this situation, it's Namecheap. You're going to find your domain. You're going to go to Advanced DNS, and I'm not going to do it because obviously we don't own target.com, but you're going to come down here and you're going to see this site already has the TXT record for the Google site verification. But all you do is you add new record. You come down to TXT record. You put the @ sign, then you paste in that record. So you paste it in, and then you hit the check mark. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to do that here. Once you do that, come back over here and you hit verify. It is usually instant. It does not take long at all. It is usually instant. Let's get out of this. All right, once it is verified, you're going to see something like this, okay, where you have these little clocks, all right, and it's saying it's processing the data. Now, this usually does take about 2 days, maybe 3 days for it to start aggregating data. Once you have aggregated some data, you're going to see something like this. All right, you're going to start seeing different things pop in here, of course. All right, so that is how you install it. Let me show you the other way as well, because if you do not want to do it at your registrar, you can do it on your website. So if we add property here and we're not doing this option, let's say you're doing this option, you're going to need the whole version here. All right, make sure, I would highly advise, copy this out of your URL window. Okay, go to your website and actually copy the URL. All right, hit continue. And when you do this version, you're going to have more options here. All right. Now, the easiest way to go for this, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, is to go down to HTML tag. Okay. HTML tag is the easiest because you just drop this in the header of your website. So you would copy this here. You would go to the header of your website. For this example, this is a carrot site. We go to settings and then we go to analytics. And this is our header area. We drop that in there. Okay. And we come down and we hit save. All right. And once again, this is pretty instant. All right. All you do is hit verify and it's going to verify it instantly. Okay. I've never had it ever, take any kind of time whatsoever. All right. So once that is done, remember it takes a couple days for it to start aggregating data. Once you have it aggregated data, you will see something like this when you sign in here. So now this is the second part of the video where I'm going to go over a number of different things in here. All right. And I'm not going to go over everything, of course. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what I look at. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in here, a lot of stuff you will never need to touch. Okay. So when you're in here on the overview page, you will kind of see a couple different things here like performance and index. And there's really not a whole lot of stuff in here for this particular website because it's kind of like a test website. But I like to go down to performance. This is the tab that I'm on quite often. And I kind of like to see what's going on, how many clicks and how many impressions my website has gotten. Now you can channel or toggle through the dates of what kind of data that you want to look at, that type of thing. You do also have the option of clicking on average CTR, which is your click-through rate. So every time your website is found in a search result, that counts as an impression, okay? And then your CTR is how many times people actually clicked on your search result, okay? And then the average position, you can toggle that on. Personally, I hate the average position. I never look at it whatsoever because I think it's awful. Even if you hover over this, it says position determination can be complicated by features such as carousels or knowledge panels. Okay. It's very hard to track. And the thing is, it is looking at all the different queries that your website pops up for. And you might be ranking number one for your main keywords. You might be killing it for your main keywords, but maybe your website ranks for a whole bunch of other keywords that are in number 100 or beyond that, or keywords that you don't even care about. You're ranking for like number 90 or 100 or whatever. It's going to bring that average position up. Okay. So I never look at it whatsoever. Okay. Click through rate, I look at every now and then. All right, but you can kind of see what's going on here. Now, if we scroll on down, this is where it kind of gets interesting. All right, queries is very interesting because these are queries that your website is showing up for, okay, which can give you a lot of ideas of what people are searching for, keywords that you might have never thought before, okay, or thought about or never found in a keyword tool before, okay. So, and you can sort these by impressions, clicks, whatever. you can see that my website here it has the most impressions on Sell My House St. Charles. Okay, so not Sell My House Fast St. Charles, or even like We Buy Houses St. Charles. All right, but Sell My House St. Charles. Okay, which is a very transactional keyword. That's a huge one, right? So you can look at that. You can scroll on down here, look at a bunch of different queries. There's even more, but my window here is blocking it. Okay, you can look at pages, all right, and see which pages are getting the most clicks or impressions. You can see countries, devices, search appearance, even go through by dates. Okay, so a lot of great info in here. Okay, now if we come over to URL inspection, if it'll load. Oh, what am I doing here? Yeah, URL inspection. You actually put the URL in here at the top, all right, and it will go and I should show you, but it's not that important at the moment because you can search them individually. But you can drop a URL in here, and it'll show you if it's indexed or if it's eligible to be indexed. You can tell it to be crawled. You can do a lot of different things with that. Okay. Now, pages. All right. This will show you what pages are indexed on your website. Okay. This is also a very important area of Search Console that I look at often because it'll show you what's not indexed and what is indexed. Okay. And you can come down here and see why pages are not indexed. All right. So you can look at, crawled but currently not indexed. That's something you always want to take a look at because if your pages are being crawled and not indexed, it means Google is deeming them not relevant or, they're not important enough to be indexed. Now, if you come on down here to the URLs, you will see like this first one, you could completely ignore that. Okay. Because that's just, it's crawling like the app, the plugins folder. You can ignore that. Okay. This one here is a test SMS page that remember, this is just a test website. I forgot to not index that. So Google crawled it. All right. And then this one here. So you can see a bunch of different ones, especially with the new update that is coming out right now, the helpful content update. A lot of times you can go in here, you see all your blog posts that maybe Google crawled and they don't like them, they did not index them, that type of thing. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. There's also another one that is not showing right now where it says discovered but not indexed. That's another one I like to take a good look at, of course. And then you can see pages, pages that are excluded by no index tag. That's probably because you did it, or also these are feeds. All right. So these are like RSS feeds off of these pages. You can completely ignore that. You don't want those indexed anyways. Okay. So all of these I can pretty much ignore. The privacy page, I did put it no index on that because I don't really care if my privacy page is indexed. Okay. So you can kind of get a good idea of what's going on with this. Okay. Now, sitemaps is another important thing. You always want to add your sitemap in here. So everybody's sitemap is going to be a little bit different. A lot of times it's something like sitemap.xml. Okay. So for instance, let's grab this website sitemap. Now I'm pretty sure this is sitemap.xml. Oh, not XML. XML. Okay, so there's a sitemap. So you want to grab this, all right? And this is going to depend on everybody's CMS, right? Everybody's going to have a different sitemap URL, so don't do exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to drop that in here. I'm going to hit submit. And when we do that, it says it's got it. All right, success, and then discovered URLs, and it's going to start crawling it. Okay, so that's how you submit a sitemap. Removals, probably will not need to ever touch that. It's kind of an advanced type of thing. Page experience, there's a lot of different stuff in here. Sometimes you won't even have enough data to look at some of the things. What else? Links. They try to crawl some of these links. This will show you more links than like Ahrefs Moz, Majestic, SEMrush, that type of thing. But those tools will also show a lot of other links that aren't showing in Search Console. There is no tool that will show you everything. Like a lot of these in here right now, you will see are citation sites like Brown Book, Local Packet, Call It Contact. A lot of these, most of these, will never show in like Ahrefs or SEMrush, that type of thing. Okay, so it's something you can look at. Settings. Settings just gives you the different settings of what's going on, that type of thing. And that's about it. Okay, so there's a lot of cool things Search Console can do for you. Like I said, I highly recommend getting this installed from day one of your website so Google can start crawling it, especially if you guys ever decide to hire an SEO agency or a marketing agency later on down the road. They will always ask for Search Console access, okay? And they will love it. They will absolutely love you if you've already have this installed, especially if it's years ago. That gives them a lot of data to go off of, that type of thing. Okay, so that's about it. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'm here to help out, but I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.